How's it going, everyone? So in this video, I am going to talk about how to count calories in home-cooked meals. So before I get started, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate the support. It helps my channel grow. Please follow me on Instagram, DylanBurke999. So this is a common question that I get from a lot of people. They're like, my parents cook my meals. I want to track my calories, but I have no idea what's in them. Now, this can be a little difficult, but there are some tips that I can give you. Now, the first tip, and this one's pretty easy, is you want to stay away from some certain types of foods. The worst meals, in my opinion, for tracking calories, and these are meals that I don't really have, is stir fries. Stir fry is one of the worst meals because a stir fry is literally everything combined. Ton of vegetables, ton of meat, sauces, everything. You could have a stir fry. You could weigh out beforehand. You could measure everything and track everything, put everything inside, and then you know exactly how much you're going to be eating. But if it's a home-cooked meal, chances are your mom, your dad, they probably made it. It's probably in a dish and they're like, here, have some. And you take one scoop and you see, okay, you got the vegetables, the meat, and the sauce too. You have to keep in mind the sauce. Usually people put high calorie sauces in there too. So you have to track for that. You have no idea. It's impossible. You have no idea. It could be 100 calories. It could be 400 calories. There's no idea. So there are some foods you have to stay away from unless you're actually weighing them out prior. Now, I started tracking calories when I lived at home. So I know what you're going through. I still track my calories. What I did is I would again stay away from meals like that because I really had no idea what they were. But most of the times when people make meals, there's usually a protein, there's usually a side of some sort, usually a carbohydrate source, and then sometimes a vegetable. So what I did is I just weighed everything individually. I would weigh my protein, I would weigh my carb source, I would weigh my vegetable source. And usually a lot of times I was weighing like chicken, ground beef. So for example, the one night we had tacos. So everything's all loaded up there and everyone's grabbing stuff and there's me with a food scale. And my parents, my brother, they got used to it because I would do that all the time. My mom's like, do you need to track it? I'm like, yeah, I gotta track my stuff. She's like, okay, here it is. So I would get the taco, I'd put it on, I'd zero in the scale, and then I would put my ground beef on. I'm like, okay, 100 grams. I know this is about 200 calories. Then I would weigh my cheese, the one serving, and then I would put some tomatoes on. Tomatoes really low calorie, so I really wouldn't track that. But the sauce, usually the sauce, I would weigh that too because sometimes they were high calorie sauces. And yeah, I would just do it like that. I would track everything and super easy. So what you can do too is if meals that are combined, like if there's 2 or 3 different things combined in the meal, what I would do is I would separate them. I would weigh each individual one and then I would combine them back together. That's really all you can do. A lot of my meals that I cook, I specifically make them dry or bland, and then I add things to them after I've weighed them just so I know exactly how many calories. So for example, the wife wanted to make ground beef with the mushroom sauce and rice. I said, can you just make the ground beef separately? And you put the mushroom sauce in. I don't care because the mushroom soup had like no calories. So she put that into the ground beef. I asked her to separate the rice though, and then she added the rice later and I didn't have any rice at all. I just had the ground beef. So that's something that you can do too. Just ask to have the things separated and then just so everyone can add it in as they want. That's what I recommend. Everything can be tracked though. Again, if it's a homemade lasagna, for example, what I would do is I would separate the beef from the actual pasta because that's what lasagna is. It's just a pasta. And then I would weigh the pasta and then I would weigh the ground beef. Super simple to do. So you got to get creative, you guys. It's definitely possible to track calories. And I did because I lived at home for 2 or 3 years. And after I started lifting weights, lived at home for a couple of years. And yeah, I still tracked all my calories. So end of video. Thank you so much for watching.